Hi everybody, it's me, Comics Are Us, Darren, and wow, it's been 5 or 6 weeks since I've uploaded one of these videos onto YouTube. Lots of different reasons why, but I guess the main reason behind it is because I've kind of stopped doing weekly haul videos because I'm trying to cut down my pull list on a weekly basis. Mainly because I'm trying to ease back on modern comics that we're reading every week, and I want to try and concentrate a little bit more on things like first appearances, key issues, important runs in comic history, that kind of thing. So what I'm trying to do is really not do so many videos because I'm not going to have so much to show you guys. So there'll be maybe once a month unless there's something kind of different. And that's really why I'm doing this video today, because last Saturday I attended Thought Bubble Comic Con in Leeds, which is here in the UK, which is held every November. It's kind of a 1 week event which covers what they call the sequential arts, and it finishes with a 2-day Comic Con running on the Saturday and the Sunday. So I whizzed along there. Leeds is only about 60 miles away from where I live, so whizzed across there really early on the Saturday morning and spent the full day there. So what I wanted to try and do before the moment was kind of lost is I wanted to get this video up and show you the things that I actually got from the con. And then I'll tell you, at the end of the video, I'll tell you what my plans are for the next couple of videos that I'm going to hopefully do in the next few days. So normally these kind of things from me run for about 10 minutes, but I've got a feeling it's going to be a bit longer than that. So I've got a beverage for if my voice starts getting a bit hoarse. So let's get cracking on. And we'll start with the goodie bag, which seems to be a bit of a common thing at the Comic Cons these days. So we got the carrier bag, which was sponsored by Travelling Man, which is a chain of 3 or 4 comic shops here in the UK. Very, very good shops. If you're ever in Leeds, Manchester, York or Newcastle, I'd highly recommend visit Travelling Man. Right, so what did we get in the goodie bag? Sorry, I've got a stack of stuff here. First of all, we got a nice mask, which is a Judge Death mask, and it's basically an advert for Dark Justice by John Wagner and Greg Staples, which is going to be starting in 2000 AD in 2015. So that's coming next year. So just a little promotional item there. Then normally I'm not very impressed with the goodie bags. When I've been to things like LSCC, it tends to be just a couple of maybe promotional posters and some advertising leaflets, that kind of thing. But this has got some stuff that, even though I've not had the time to do it yet, I'm really looking forward to having a proper look through. Because there's this information leaflet, and I'm assuming it's for a book. It's 75 Years of Marvel, because it's from Taschen, I think that's how it's pronounced, who do these kind of high-end art books. So I'm thinking, yeah, I was going to say I'm thinking it's going to be pretty pricey. It's £135, so I don't think I'll be picking that up. But I bet it's a beautiful book. Next thing we got in our goodie bag was just a little card here, which on the back has got the essential 25 graphic novels from DC. And then there's a little pamphlet, which is DC Collectibles Essentials. So in here there's going to be all the usual kind of statues and busts, upside down, that kind of thing. So that's quite interesting. And then the two main things, there's the DC Entertainment Graphic Novel Essentials and Chronology Volume 2, which is kind of a paperback book, and I'm assuming it's got more detail on those 25 essential graphic novels in here from DC. As I say, I went to Thought Bubble last week, a week ago, and I've still not had a chance to properly look through all this stuff, so I'm kind of winging it a little bit. And then we've also got this previews guide to graphic novels and trade paperbacks, which again, it's a pretty thick book. It's kind of like the regular previews monthly, but just a little bit smaller. And they did have a fat stack of the current previews monthly, which you could have taken if you wanted a copy, but I had it already, so there was no point taking another one. You know what the size of those things are, so it would have been a bit too much to carry around, really. Okay, so that was the contents of the goodie bag. Then we also got this little fold-out guide to the Comic Con, and basically this told you who was attending the con, all of the writers and artists, and also there was the kind of guides to where all the tables were going to be and who was going to be sitting where, and that was invaluable for what was to come later, which I'll tell you about shortly. And then we also had this little booklet, which was a guide to not just the 2-day Comic Con itself, but the whole of the week-long festival. So there were all of the events in there, and these were being held all around the city of Leeds. So there was, I mean, if you lived in Leeds, it must be an amazing week to be there. Okay, so on to the things that I actually bought. And I'll start with the things that I bought from kind of the independent type guys who were there in really good numbers. And first off, I came across a chap who I've not heard of before called Ryan Jenkins. That's his card. What I'll do, anything that I mention here where there's any Facebook information or email addresses or websites, I'll put them all in the description below, so that if you want to check out further, then you'll be able to go straight to the sites and do that for yourself. Anyway, like I say, Ryan Jenkins was there. He was doing sketches. My friend who went with me to the con, Dave, he actually picked up a Hellboy sketch that Ryan Jenkins did for him. But I just really liked the look of the mini prints that he was selling. These were £2 each, or they were 3 for £5. So there were 3 that I really liked, so I did the 3 for £5. Made sense. So there we have Catwoman, and Ryan signed all of these as well. So this was the one that really caught my eye. I was really impressed with this one. And then there was the Guardians of the Galaxy, again signed. Just nice little things for putting in frames. Maybe try and get one of those frames where it'll hold 3 different pictures. That'd look really nice. And then the Joker and Harley Quinn, which is really good. So, very impressed with him. Did some nice prints. Next, there was a stall there from a company called Geeky Comics, and again I'll put the website in the description below, and they had some really nice looking kind of gothic-y, horror, vampire-y, that kind of stuff, all of which I really love. I love my vampires and I love zombies, that kind of thing. Anyway, I picked up one of their comics, which is issue 1 of Esme, vampire character. Again, not had a chance to read it, but when I've had a flick through it, a quick look, really nice looking art, all full colour, very, very nice looking. So I'm looking forward to reading that. And then I also picked up a print of Esme, Don't mess with this bitch. Very nice. And when we first arrived at the con, one of the first stalls that we came across was some guys from Ireland. I'm not sure whether they're from Northern Ireland or the Republic, but they were really, really nice guys, interesting to talk to. They were telling us about how they started off fully amateur, and now they're actually making a living out of doing what they're doing, which is just amazing. And they're from Uproar Comics, and they were selling copies of their comic, which is called Zombies High. So what I did from them, this is actually I guess a trade paperback of their first 5 issues. This is all in black and white, but then I also picked up issue 6, and this starts off in black and white, but then kind of in the middle of the story there's a huge explosion, and from then on it becomes colour. And I think they've done about 11 issues now. So when I've read these, I'm going to go on the website and try and pick up the other issues that have come out. Again, really, really nice artwork, and I would, really urge you people to have a look and check out. These guys, they work really hard doing this kind of stuff, and a lot of the time it's for a very little reward. They just love doing it, and I think, if we get the chance to support them in any way, we should do that. So I was happy to pick up these. And I think I got the compilation of the first 5 issues, and then this one. Altogether it was £7.50. And they were also giving out these little pin badges as well, Zombies High. So glad to pick that up. Right, they also at the con had a couple of Thought Bubble exclusive editions of comics from Image. I didn't know about this actually before I went, but a couple of days before I went, I was contacted on Facebook, and because I'd mentioned that I was going to Thought Bubble, and the person had asked me, it was Michael, had asked me if he sent me the money, if he wouldn't mind me picking up some copies of these exclusives for him. Well, I was more than happy to, because like I said, before he contacted me, didn't have any idea that they were doing these. So I got a copy of issue 1 of Drifter, and this is the Thought Bubble exclusive cover, and I got it signed by Ivan Brandon and Jason Latour, who were both at the con signing. So I was really pleased to get that. But the big one that I was really happy to get was one of the main guests at Thought Bubble was Scott Snyder, and because of this they produced a Thought Bubble exclusive of Witches #2, which is a brilliant cover. So got a copy of that. Was hoping that I would be able to get it signed, but even though Scott Snyder did about 3 or 4 signings throughout the whole day, the queues were just ridiculous, and I really didn't. I've done it before, and I really didn't want to spend my entire day just queuing for autographs. So I just restricted myself to getting the Drifter signed, because the queues for that were not so crazy as Snyder's. Right, nice cup of tea. Right, now moving on to the sketches that I got done. A guy whose work I've seen before, and I was quite familiar with it, and I really liked his style. I wasn't sure if he was going to be going to Thought Bubble, but when I saw him there, I was really happy. I'd taken along a blank variant cover of Avengers #1 from the Marvel Now, and what I wanted to get done was a Scarlet Witch. Anyway, I asked Phil if he'd be able to do that for me, and he said absolutely no problem. Just left the book with him, and he said come back in a couple of hours. And when I went back, this was what was waiting for me. It's in Mylar, so I hope it's not glaring too much and spoiling it. And I hope you can see that. But it's absolutely brilliant. so happy. But the main reason that I went to Thought Bubble, the big thing that was number one on my list of priorities was Charlie Adlard of Walking Dead fame was going to be there, and he'd advertised on Facebook that he was going to be doing sketches. He was going to be charging £20 for these, but the money all went to charity. I know Charlie's done this before, and I think kind of £20 is like nothing to pay for a piece of Charlie's artwork, so I was more than happy to do that. Anyway, we set off early so that I could try and get a good place in the queue, because I knew that the queues for Charlie, as they always are, were going to be crazy as well. Anyway, we were still, when we arrived, we were quite far back in the main queue, but I knew that not everybody was going to be going for the same thing. So as it turned out, when we were finally let into the main venue, me and my friend were around about 6th in the queue, which was great because I knew I was going to be there for about an hour, which was fine because then we had the rest of the day just to look around. I also found out that my friend wasn't really interested in getting a Charlie Adlard sketch, so I said to him, well, if I give you the £20, will you get one done for me? And he was more than happy to do that. So anyway, when it came to the time when we were at the front of the queue, I asked Charlie if he could do me a Negan sketch. I'd taken a blank copy of The Walking Dead number 115, and I'm not very good at editing, but what I'm going to try and do at this point is just drop in a little piece of film of Charlie actually doing the two sketches that he did for me and my friend. So hopefully that'll be now.
Yeah, I can almost imagine.
Yeah.
Graphic. Yeah, very graphic. It's all over it.
As big as the girl. Yeah, it was a big fight.
Right, so if that worked, you've just seen some sketching being done by Charlie Adlard, and this was the result. My Negan sketch on The Walking Dead number 115, which I was just absolutely thrilled with. I've been wanting an original Charlie Adlard piece of work for a long time, so I was super happy to receive that. And then I asked my friend if he would ask Charlie to do a sketch of the governor. So that's what I've ended up with. My friend's not a fan of The Walking Dead, and he wasn't really familiar with any of the characters. But luckily for me, when Charlie asked him whether he wanted a governor with an eye patch or without, he said with, which is what I really wanted. So I went to Thought Bubble really hoping to get a Charlie Adlard sketch, and I've come away with two. And I wouldn't part with either of them. I'm really looking forward to getting these framed and putting them on display because they just look awesome. And I think for £20 to charity, you just can't go wrong. The other thing that Charlie was doing was, I don't know if you're familiar, I know Lewis knows about this, because I think he funded Charlie and his band's Kickstarter. But Charlie is in a band called the Cosmic Rays, and they recently did a Kickstarter to try and fund their first album. And what he was doing was, anybody who got a sketch for £20, he was throwing in a copy of the CD. So I got a copy of that as well, and signed that for me. So that was brilliant. Because I've been really busy this week, I've not had a chance to play that as well, so I can't tell you what it's like. But I know that it's kind of an indie music, so it'll suit me down to the ground. So, that was Thought Bubble for this year. and that's what I've picked up. I'm actually off work for 3 days at the end of this coming week, so I'm going to be filming a couple more videos and getting them posted online. One of the things that I want to do is show you quite a bit of stuff that I've picked up over the last few weeks, and that's in the way of some variant covers, some things that I picked up from a local shop, and also some kind of key issues, first appearances, that kind of stuff. So there's some really good stuff there. And then I'm going to do a separate video because I don't want that one to be too long. Some of you who follow me on Facebook will know that I've started collecting the Frank Miller run on Daredevil, the initial run, which went from, I think it was issue 158 to about 191. I think it was 34 issues altogether. I've managed to get 10 so far fairly quickly, but I'm only interested in like very, very good grade copies. So I think that the kind of worst copy that I've got is a very fine minus, but even that's in really great shape, so I was very happy with it. So what I'll do a separate video and I'll show you those 10 copies of Daredevil, and then as I get a few more I'll kind of update that as we go on. So that's it. I'm sorry if this has been long. I've no idea how long this has been going for, but if it's gone on a bit, I apologise for that. I just wanted to show you everything that I'd got. And don't forget, I'm going to put links down there somewhere with details about all of the people who I got stuff off at Thought Bubble. So, like I say, keep a lookout towards the back end of the week for a couple more videos that I'm going to upload. Have a great week. Enjoy your comics this week. If you like this video, thumbs up. If you don't like it, thumbs down. If you don't subscribe, please do if you want to. Even though I've not put any videos on for a few weeks, I've had a few more subscribers, so I'm really happy about that. And I hope you enjoy watching this new video. So until next time, take care. And thanks very much for watching.